So what's your name?
My name's Rob.
Rob?
Yeah.
What's your last name?
Lewis.
Rob Lewis. And Rob Lewis from?
I'm from Madison. I'm a member of a socialist organization, a revolutionary organization that talks about how does this system work and how do we change it. And so basically what we want to do is we study history and we try to teach people lessons from history, from events like this, where there's a class struggle between the ruling class and the working class.
How can we implement such a system that captures your ideals?
Sure.
And can we learn from the demonstrators in Cairo as to how to implement such an ideal?
Well, actually, we have a meeting for tomorrow night. If you want to come and capture with your video, there should be a good talk and discussion afterward. Basically, you can't dictate a revolution. You can't dictate an uprising. It's something that's spontaneous.
My name is Ty Bergstrand. I'm Nanny and a baker.
I'm Kathy. I work in the basketball library.
My name is Brett. I'm a teacher.
My name is Ben. I'm from a radical collective space in West Bend, Wisconsin.
And I'm a member of the ISO.
I'm a member of AFT Local 3872 in Madison College.
I am Officer at Large for the Graduate Employees Organization at the University of Illinois at Urbana-Champaign. Came up because this is too big to miss.
You said that the collapse of capitalism and neoliberalism as an ideology was ideologically discredited because it showed that markets don't actually work the way that they're supposed to work. And we argued that the response to the crisis of austerity around the world was going to initiate a new era of class struggle. Over the last 6 weeks, it's become clear that that time actually is now. From Tunisia to Egypt to now Libya and now here in the United States.
I feel like we can actually have an effect on that by organizing folks together and actually saying, you know what, we say no concessions, tax the rich, get those tax cuts back. It's not our mess, it's your mess. You clean it up. We shouldn't have to. It's the Koch brothers and those billionaire motherfuckers and the representatives in this state house who are trying to screw all of us, and we all need to stick together and fight back. And I feel like that means something that folks start trying. I feel like it's directly. I feel like that's this really. I feel like it. So I feel like that. And I feel like if we can do that, I think that the future bodes well for working people in this country and across the globe. So I guess I'll just leave it there.
Racism has been a really important tool in America for suppressing workers because it divides the workers against each other. And so it's also sexism and homophobia is another way to confuse people and think there's someone else, that there's enemy who's actually just on their same side in the exact same position of being exploited.
What would you say about those who would say classism works in the same way?
Well, like I described earlier, there are two fundamental classes that are just a plain fact in society. You either work for someone else or you work for yourself. And most people work for someone else in a way that they aren't free. You don't really get to decide your work. For example, I work at Noodles, a restaurant, and basically it's a dictatorship there. We're told exactly what we're going to cook, how we're going to cook it, what time we're going to get there, and basically if they don't like what they're doing, they try to tell us what to do. If we don't listen, they get rid of us. And so we're not able to actually cooperate in a way that we make decisions together. I try to convince my fellow employees that we should have a union at Noodles, so it's a source of power to start with. And then I think in terms of the bigger picture, when you look at revolutions, the way that you actually get rid of any sort of dictatorship is by having workers take control of the place where they work.
Would your plan, your vision for Noodles,
Sure.
would it include the owner? What capacity would he be granted?
If the owner wanted to cooperate with us as an equal and provide his skills that he had, we would definitely cooperate with him. We'd have to abdicate his position as being an owner and controller of us, and he would have to recognize that we run Noodles together, and basically if he doesn't want to cooperate with us, he's against us.
Egypt supports Wisconsin, one world, one pain. And I think that captures what the link is between what's going on here and what's going on in the Middle East and other parts of the world. We're linked together as part of a global capitalist economy that's destroying the environment, that's destroying people's lives around the world. And that's why the parallels that everybody's been drawing between Cairo and Madison make sense. If you want to know what the next 5 or 10 or 20 years is going to look like, it is not going to look like the last 20 or 30 years. It's going to look a lot more like the last month in Egypt and the last week in Wisconsin. Not every day is going to look like that, but that's going to be happening more and more and more and more often. So I think it's time for people to take a stand and to commit themselves, commit ourselves to the fight for a different world before capitalism destroys the entire planet.
This is a publication that comes out every month. It's an in-depth kind of analysis that goes deeper than just saying what's happening with current events, but kind of goes into the details of kind of the specifics of analyzing the picture of who's involved, what are they trying to do, and kind of like a deeper understanding of what's behind things.
How might viewers get this magazine?
Well, if you go to the International Socialist Review website, that's a good place to start, where we actually post a lot of this material online for everyone to access for free. And we basically use this physical magazine as a way when we're out in public talking to people, we can actually physically give it to them.
For instance,
to read like a
me.
book. Yes.
So here's $20. You got change?
And that's how it works.
That is how it works. Beautiful.
Spreading information.